Koenigsegg, yep, he's got the advantage, but unironically, the average ducks to the inside. What a move! But Koenigsegg accelerating back on the outside. And there goes Salty Bonkos to the inside, bashing door panels, sparks flying, smoke spraying. The Butler is going to go wide. Salty Bonkos on the inside. They're a little bit off the pace, but now accelerating all 500 horsepower. Hello, race fans all around the world. Welcome to X-Venture here live on Twitch TV. It is week number 2 in Season 37 of the Forza Spec Racing Series, and there's a look at the standings as they are coming into tonight's activity. And because there is the drop week rule in effect, things may not change a whole heck of a lot here coming out of week number 2. But week 3, 4, and 5, that's when it gets really interesting. That's not to say that week 2 is going to be short any action. It just means that the way that we'll present the points going into week 3 may not look drastically different from what we see here. That's okay. We'll keep the entertainment going for you all the way throughout the season. I promise you that much. I'm Dustin Moore on the microphone, as always, here on X-Venture. I'm excited about this one. Bathurst, followed by Lime Rock. I'm not so excited about Lime Rock as I am Bathurst, but hey, every once in a while you got to get some. You got to give some, and that means I'm going to give up the. I would probably put a different track in place of Lime Rock and get something cooler. But hey, we get Bathurst. We get Mount Panorama for race number 1 here of the evening. By the way, folks. Always looking for ways to keep you engaged here on the channel. We've got Carryout, who's already redeeming thousands and thousands of points into our fall raffle. Yes, I've got $50 worth of either Steam Cash, Xbox, or PlayStation gift cards to give away to one of our lucky viewers here between now and December 8th. December 8th happens to be when Season 37 wraps up. And with that, we will go ahead and randomly select any one person who has redeemed 1,000 points, and you can do it multiple times like you see Carryout doing, for a shot at getting just getting a gift card. There's only one up for grabs, and of course, this is all thanks to the viewers who have gone above and beyond to support the broadcast with their Twitch subscriptions or through bit donations, and then for those of you who aren't subscribers but actually then sit through the advertisements, that helps as well. So every little bit you provide and deliver to the broadcast, I will take whatever proceeds I get and turn those around into something that perhaps could reward you. I mean, you subscribe for a month or two, and then perhaps you win one of our raffles, and boom, already you've turned a pretty good profit there. But really, it's all to encourage you to, hey, stick on throughout the season, because I promise you it's going to be exciting racing action all the way up to week number 5. And another way to keep you engaged in things that are happening here in the broadcast are predictions. And thank you, Twitch, for finding yet another way to keep viewers involved and engaged with the broadcast. You may notice that as you log into the broadcast here, you should see a prediction happening right now, asking you the quickest clean qualifying time will it be faster than 2 minutes and 25 seconds out here at Bathurst, or will it be slower than 2 minutes and 25 seconds? Use your channel points to vote for whichever one you think is most likely. And I believe you can vote multiple times to increase the amount of points that you might get back based on how much you put into the pot. So give that feature a go. We'll be going ahead and rolling it all throughout the evening, not only here during qualifying, but then going into the race. and then into the next qualifying session for race number 2 of the evening, and then the second race of the evening, we'll put another little prediction thing on there. Again, an easy way for you all to kind of stay engaged, have a little bit of fun with us. It's channel points, so there's nothing on the line in terms of money or anything like that. But you can increase the number of channel points you have, and then therefore you can change or increase the amount of points that you can then get ready to redeem for another raffle entry. See how it works? There you go. So we got a few votes that are coming in. We've got one for slower than 225, and then we've got one vote for faster than 225. So we'll see how that works out. Born as Ghost has resubscribed for 5 months. Thank you so much there, Born as Ghost. Thank you for all your support. All right, let's talk about those standings here. I've done enough of the shameless plugs and all that. Let's take a look at where the standings are. Cratrium sits atop the leaderboard with 94 points, just 1 point above Stevie Super Stacks. These two not actually exchanging wins there in week number 1. Cratrium happened to get 2 second-place finishes in week number 1, but it was Audrex, who you see highlighted in gold there, who got the win in race number 1. And actually, that was his first ever victory here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, believe it or not. Audrex picking up the win there out at Circuit of the Americas. Unfortunately, race number 2, not so good for him. That's what brings him down to 68 points, yielding only 18 in that second race. CMD Slipstream is right there in third, 79 points. Then you got Fear the Fun, Chaos Fox, Disco Joint, Jacob, DOR Carryout, Born as Ghost. And then you see the names off to the right. And yes, there are a few names that aren't included on this list, as is often the case. Come into the Forza Spec Racing Series, and if you can't figure out one goal, like maybe you're just not sure who you might be able to beat, well, at least make it your goal to see if you can get into the top 20 on the leaderboard and see your name here each and every week heading into the night's racing action. All right, I told you about where we were going, but let's go ahead and look at that schedule just for official purposes so that you know this is the way things are going to play out over the next 4 weeks. Mount Panorama, Lime Rock, that's tonight, 13 and 31 respectively in terms of number of laps. Then a week from tonight, November 24th, Le Mans, Circuit de la Sarthe, the old Mulsanne circuit, in the dark. So that's going to be a fun one. They'll go flying down the old Mulsanne, no chicanes to slow them down, of course, until they get to the end. But then also doing it under the stars. And then Rio de Janeiro, the mini circuit in reverse there, 48 laps. That's going to be one that, I don't know. I mean, I'm curious about how that's going to go, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Rio de Janeiro. Fortunately, I don't have to drive it. Week number 4, we go out to Atlanta for Road Atlanta, 19 laps. Looking forward to that one, and then really looking forward to what is race number 8 on the season 37 schedule, the Nürburgring GP, 13 laps. And then we cap it all off, week number 5, Tuesday, December 8th, out at Sebring for 30 laps in the rain. So there you go. That's how the schedule plays out here over the next 4 weeks, including tonight. And as we look to the lobby, we've got 23 of the, that's 22 grid spots full. I'm the 23rd person, and if we get one more driver, we will indeed have 23 drivers on the grid, which will result in a full lobby. Again, before the submissions are closed, so we'll see here. A few of you voted. For those of you who may be just joining us right now, know that we are going to be running here through the broadcast Twitch predictions. And I'm going to go ahead and throw up an event or an activity, or I guess a decision that you have to make based on whatever it is I come up with. And there's only going to be 2 options because really Twitch predictions only have 2 options as of right now. Pick the option you think is going to win. And by picking, I mean use your channel points to pick. And after the event has taken place, and if you got the answer correct, then you get to split the pot with anybody else who may have guessed the correct answer with you. So again, just a little extra thing that we can do here in the world of Twitch to help keep our viewers that much more in on the action and keep you having having fun and coming back, really. That's what it's all about. All right, let's go ahead and head out to Mount Panorama, Bathurst. 3 laps of qualifying, the first lap being the standing start. We'll take a little extra long, or a few seconds longer. Here comes Fear the Fun going into Hell's Corner. He'll be the first one to start things off for us here this evening, leading the charge with Audrex behind him. Stevie's Super Stack. Let's go to Stevie's car, who has the Amazon livery on there, same as week number 1. Pretty clean livery on the car, not too flashy. Getting ready to head up the hill. 276 horsepower, 289 foot-pounds of torque, 3,678 pounds of curb weight in the C500 2005 BMW M3. Yes, C500. They've actually put the 2.6-liter inline-6 twin-turbo motor underneath the hood of the BMW, and that actually brings down the vehicle's performance. I think it starts out in B class by default, and then once they went ahead and tweaked it here for the season, brought it down to C500. It's race brakes, sport flywheel, race springs and dampers. Excuse me, not race. They are sport springs and dampers. Race front and rear roll bars. You got a race chassis reinforcement with roll cage, sport clutch, sports transmission, race driveline, race differential. You'll notice I did not say that they had the weight reduction, which is the reason why this vehicle clocks in at over 3,500 pounds. Weighs in at over 3,500 pounds, as we see Stevie Super Stacks now coming out of the Force's elbow down the back straightaway, the charge toward the start-finish line. Let's go back to Grimm. Give some camera time to Grimm. Sport tire compounds, they are wrapped around ADV 15 track spec CSs. The fronts are 225 40 19s. And in the rear, they've got 255, so 30, 30 centimeters wider. 35 R19s. So a little bit meatier tire there in the back, and then, like I mentioned, the 2.6-liter inline-6 twin turbo under the hood. And there goes Grimm. He's going to go ahead and slide it out into the kitty litter, making some sandcastles out there. Is Grimm. Let's go to Gumby Greg, and while we do that, let's throw some stats there in the bottom left-hand corner. That way we can keep track of which driver is coming across the line with the quickest lap. RZM McQueen is making a return, apparently. RZM McQueen had the quickest time before Cratrium came across with a 2:31. And again, the question was, will somebody secure a 2:25 or better, or a 2:25 or slower, based on which way you voted in the Twitch predictor? What's up there, Civic Element? Good to see you. Amos Urtacan. Yes, Bathurst, one of my favorite tracks. Caster Raccoon is here. Dino Dado is here. Carryout, who subscribed again for 5 months. Thank you so much. And actually, I'm going to run that one back there on the lower third so that you can enjoy the graphic. And Slow Motion Fire earlier saying, it's race day. DWM Frog, love Tuesday racing. I do as well. Tuesdays, for so long, were just kind of a day that I shrugged my shoulders and said, yeah, you know what, at least tomorrow's Wednesday. But now, at least for the last, what has it been, 3 years or so, been able to bring the commentary, the Forza Spec Racing Series to you live here on XVenture, and really helps give me something to look forward to on a Tuesday evening. Gumby Greg there into the wall on the way down Mount Panorama. Let's go to Mortismo, as Mortismo now hits the tippity-top pier. And we'll start the charge down. Look out for that wall off to the right, and that's where some of our drivers, or at least Gumby Greg, made contact. You want to avoid that. Too much contact. That's going to yield you a a dirty lap. And no matter how quick that dirty lap may be, if that's the best that you can accomplish during qualifying, it'll set you at the back of the pack, where they will rack and stack you against other drivers who had dirty laps, unless you're the only one. Amos Huracan says, if McQueen doesn't get pole here, I'll be surprised. Well, Stevie Superstack, I mean, he's one to look out for. Coming across now with a 2:30.995, so that 2:25 may be a bit out of reach here for the C500 BMW M3. And Sammy J. Peps, I was going to say, Huracan, Sammy J. Peps may have something else to say about that. And sure enough, he did. Underneath the Armor All Bridge they go. Beer 98G there, currently with the 17th quickest lap time. Going to lead these two that he has behind him. It's Kuda and Mortismo make that 4. He's got Funtang, well, a total of 4. All four cars there going through that final left-hander across the line. And now ready to go back into Hell's Corner one more time, at least during qualifying, before we go back out to the track for 13 laps. Cratrim now with a sub 230 at 2:29.013. Here comes Funtang. He's going to slide it out there. That's going to slow him down if his lap is not already dirty. Let's go to Slow Motion Fire, currently with the 14th quickest time underneath the Fujitsu air conditioning banner. Nice sunny day out here, Mount Panorama. We'll see if maybe Turn 10 Studios gives us a little bit of weather. And certainly I think what a lot of folks are looking forward to is the possibility of a time of day transition, because Mount Panorama, Bathurst, is synonymous with the 12 hours of Bathurst. And right now, as it stands, we only have daytime to drive in. So would be nice to see maybe some alternate time of day, but ideally what we're really looking forward to is a transitioning time of day, not just a static. Z827, who joined the Forza Spec Racing Series for the first time here in season number 37. We saw his or her name on the leaderboard, just on the leaderboard there in 20th position, 19 points right now, finding himself 2 behind Sprizaus, who's got 21. Into that final left-hander, there goes AP1 Raccoon. Here comes Z827 with, again, a different take on the BMW racing stripes, the 3 racing colors. Bit of a chevron there on the hood. And then a strike back, a backslash, if you will, on the door panels. And there they go across the line. Cratrim with that 2:29.013 has not yet been beat. Will anybody else who is now finishing this thing up going to be able to best him? So far, not looking that way. Let's go to Chaos Fox, who's now coming through the final corner there. The STP signs all along the crash wall, and across the line goes Scrubs Go Racing's Chaos Fox. Amos Huracan says, I want to come here for the 2022 Bathurst 12 hours. Had it planned this year, but we all know how that went. Or 2021, you should say. That would be cool. That would be cool. I don't know that it's necessarily like in the foreseeable future for me, but I would love to get below the equator and to the continent of Australia, and if able to check out Mount Panorama, that much better. All right, so nobody was able to get that 2:25 or better, so congratulations to the two people who voted for 2:25 or slower. And with that, you get your share of the pot. whatever's left there. Whatever you get. Let's try this again. Let's give this another go. Let's say who will be our race winner? And will it be Cratrium, who has the quickest time in qualifying? Or will it be somebody else? Gonna give you, let's give you 5 minutes for this one. And there you go. Have at it. Let's have some fun with this, folks. Place your bets using channel points. The safest way to gamble here. There's your chips are just given to you based on how much you watch the broadcast. Then you can use those to bet on which result you think is most likely. Fear the fun with a 231, 230, the Stevie Super Stack. We'll see if that's good enough for row number 1. Born as Ghost at a 231. Slipstream also with a 230, but just a bit behind, about 0.2 of a second there behind Stevie's 230. Cratrium with that 229.013. That's good for pole. AP1 Raccoon with a 236, 422. Z827 with a 233. A 232 for Disco Joint. Carry out with a 233.54. Again, not going to be quick enough for row number 1, but should suffice for row number 2. McQueen there with a 231.837. A 234.180 there for Jacob. Slow Motion Fire clocking in with a 234. Maybe not his quickest time. He might have dirtied a lap or two there. Gumby Greg did indeed dirty his lap. No clean lap there for qualifying. A 243. That'll put him at the back of the pack. Kuda 93 with a 233. A 233 there for Funtang. Mortismo with a 236.159. Beer with a 239. Joe Beardy with a 231. Chaos Fox 233. 236 for Fox Jason D. And a 231 and a 252. Audrex and Grim, respectively. There you go. And folks are already starting to weigh in. Oh, it's looking pretty biased at this point. If anybody wants to take a shot at Cratrium getting the win here, you may pick up a nice little chunk of points. Go out on a limb. You don't know how to vote? You should have a message at the top of your chat, and it should be in a purple button. It should say something like predict. But you know who I'm going. I know which side of the predictor you're going to be on. If just voted against myself to create a reverse jinx. I like it, Cratrium. I like it. Oh, look at that. You get a nice little predicted emblem next to your name too. Once you vote, once you cast your vote. I like it. And hey, folks, we've got ourselves a full lobby. How about that? Full lobby. I love it. Gonna bring in Grim here into the driver's spotlight. Grim, Bathurst is down. You had a 252, I believe it was. Are you satisfied with that, or would you have liked to have been able to shave a few, if not a dozen more seconds off of that? Grim, check, 1, 2. Can't hear you. We might have to throw Grim back into the fishbowl there. I don't know if that's on my end or on his end, but we'll go ahead and throw you back, and then maybe after this race, we'll see if we can get you back in here. We'll give it a try after this race. Carry out giving a little chuckle there to Cratrium. And yes, Mortismo just redeemed 1,000 points and continues to do so. That's the way to do it right there, folks. That's the way you want to try to give yourself the best chance of winning this thing. Our fall raffle here on XVenture, a $50 PlayStation, Xbox, or Steam gift card. The Xbox and the PlayStation are restricted to being redeemed in the U.S. only. If you happen to win the raffle and you're not in the U.S., then you can opt for the Steam gift card. But $50 worth of gaming there for you to go use in your favorite storefront. And again, just another way that I can give back. All of these raffles, anything that happens here on the broadcast is funded with the support of viewers like you. What do I sound like PBS now at this point? U.S. only for the gift cards for the PlayStation and the Xbox. The Steam is universal. Steam is universal, so I apologize for anybody who's outside the walls of the U.S. It's really beyond my control, and I'm not going to go fishing on the web to try to find gift cards in other parts of the world, because guess what? I've tried that once before, and it didn't work out so well for me. So the best I can do, make available what is available to me. All right. You're Canadian and use Xbox. I mean, you could try them. If you were to win, you could say, hey, Dustin, give me the Xbox One. You can give it a shot. And then if it doesn't work, then maybe you give it to one of your best pals in the States or whatever. Like I said, it's what I do to try to contribute back to those who take the time to view. And I understand that I can't possibly make it happen for everybody across the world the way that they would like. Tell Disco his car is sick, says Civic Element. Let's go take a look at it. Disco Joint. Driving the No Coast Brewing. Yeah, the Mammoth. What is that? Mammoth Barrel Aged Stout. Sounds delicious. Sounds delicious. And yes, indeed, we do have 23 drivers. I'm the 24th person as a spectator, but 23 drivers on the grid getting ready to go racing here. And it will be 13 laps. Mount Panorama, Bathurst, with the sun shining down. Craytrim will be on pole. Stevie Superstack, indeed, is in row number 1 with Slipstream and Foontang in row 2. McQueen and Fear the Fun will share space there in row number 3. Joe Beardy and Z827 in row 4. DOR Carryout and Born as Ghost in row 5 for your top 10. Amos Huracan says, let's see how far I can make it up the field. Oh, so that's our 23rd driver. Is Huracan's now in on the fun and will be at the backest of back, in the back of the pack. Not qualifying, but wanting to give it a go after saying, you know what, I'm going to step out for a little bit. But then after 1 week elapsed, he said, I'm back in it. I'm back in it to win it. Let's give it a go. And so maybe they're just waiting on one driver here, or Slow Motion Fire is just making a few adjustments. Oh, there we go. He says, we are ready, all set, fire it up. We'll go ahead and put our camera here on Stevie Superstack, and we'll see who the winner is of our poll when this is all said and done. I say poll, but it's really the prediction tool. I got to keep calling it the prediction thing because the polls are something entirely different. That's a different feature. Race number 3 here, folks. The beginning of week 2. I hope you're having a pretty decent start of the week so far. Maybe we can help you out a little bit. And for those of us in the United States, hey, well, if this week's not going so hot, maybe what you have to look forward to is next week with Thanksgiving holiday. On the line, and Craytrim will be the one to signal when they start. He's on the right-hand side of the screen with our camera here on Stevie, and they're off. Kick the tires, light the fires, ladies and gentlemen. Week number 2 here, season 37 is underway. The Forza Spec Racing Series here on a Tuesday evening. Into turn number 1 they go. We've got 2 wide, maybe even 3 wide back behind them. One driver off into the grass. I do believe that was Disco Joint. And now here comes Stevie making the charge after Craytrim. Craytrim posting that sub-230 time, a 2:29.013. And right now has about a 4 or 5 car length lead as they make the charge down the out straightaway into turn number 2 and up the hill. Stevie Superstack still in position, looking pretty composed there. Nothing to get too eager about right now. 13 laps, plenty of time to get around the track and try to make a pass. DOR Carryout is in third. Audrex in fourth. Let's go to Slipstream, who's in fifth position as he makes his way up into the hill, and now he gets into the back there of Audrex. I don't think there's any damage. Should be okay, and they'll continue on. Audrex in the AMD Ryzen car getting a little love tap there from Slipstream as they go rolling up the hill, and here comes Fear the Fun. Hot on the hills, you got to be careful. Fear the Fun's one of those drivers who he's a quick guy, but you don't want to necessarily be around him. He can be a little aggressive and tends to make a few mistakes, and don't want to mistake very early on in this race because it'll put you in a pit lane, and there we go. There's the mistake right there, Slipstream, and I don't know if he had a little bit of help, but gosh, look at this congestion all the way back up as we look toward the top of the hill, and now Slipstream, does he have any damage to that vehicle? That really is going to be the question here, because if he does, that is not going to bode well for him in this race. Sure enough, 100% on the aero, and then 100% there on that front left brake disc and the front left suspension. He ran a little bit wide very early on into the slalom there downhill. And again, I couldn't tell from our camera's position if he had any help, but it sure looked like maybe it was just a personal error, because it really didn't result, or we didn't see anybody else get tangled up with him. Might just have been a self-imposed issue. Let's go back up to the front. Audrex, who is in fourth position right now as they go underneath the Super Cheap Auto signage, and now through the chute and across the line, beginning of lap number 2. It's going to be Cratestream, our race leader. Stevie Superstack, they're in second. Let's go to DOR Carryout, who is in third, and let's ride on board with Carryout, see what it looks like from his vantage point. Cratestream letting that hot lapping skill take over and help establish a commanding lead here. He comes out of the Force's elbow in the top spot with about a 3 or 4 car length lead still. He established it very early on at the start of the race, and he holds on to it right now, and there's nobody there with Stevie to help him kind of get 2 cars to buddy up and see if that will propel them forward any better. And instead, he'll have to do it all on his own. That, or if Cratestream happens to make a mistake. He was so on point during qualifying, though. Let's see if he can hold on all the way throughout the race. 13 laps, or make it 11 after they come across the line next time by. DOR Carryout still there in third. Audrex in fourth. McQueen in fifth. Fear the Fun is in sixth. Joe Beardy in seventh. Born as Ghost is eighth. Chaos Fox into the top 10 at ninth position. And in the 10th position, P10 is Disco Joint. Jacob T is in 11th. Foontang in 12th. Kuda in 13th. Amos Huracan, who was at the back of the pack, did not qualify. Now up to 14th position. Z827 in 15th. Raccoon in 16th. Slow Motion Fire, Mortiz, Mo Beer, Fox Jason D, Grim, Gumby Greg, and Slipstream make 17th through 23rd. Back to Born as Ghost here. In 8th position, he's got Joe Beardy out in front of him. There's Fear the Fun in 6th. Single file as they make the right-hander, the first of only a few right-handers. Even as you're heading downhill, you only pick up, what, 2.5, 3 right-handers? And we've got a few cars who have turned themselves into pit lane. That's going to be at least, one of them we are very familiar with. Graham there in 22nd, Gumby Greg in 23rd, and actually the one I was saying that we're familiar with, Slipstream, that was from lap number 1, so he, without the shadow of a doubt, is already pitted. As a matter of fact, I see his blip there going into the turn number 2 in 21st position. He's got some ground to make up, but he can do it. He could turn this thing around, at least catch up to half the field, and then who knows, maybe get into the top 10. Let's go to Funtang in 14th. Kuda making a mistake, allowing Funtang to go ahead, get on by without any challenge. And now down the hill, and now, let's see, Funtang, he's got AP1 Raccoon back behind him in his rear view mirror. Jacob T. BOED out in front in 12th. This may be a quick little overtake here. Funtang can make it happen, trying to get into that top 10. He's got 2 cars. That is going to be Jacob and Huracan. However, Huracan is going in the opposite direction. He's going in the... They're all going in the same direction, but in terms of closing that gap, he is not closing the gap on Huracan whatsoever. Huracan, as a matter of fact, getting around Funtang probably about a lap or a half lap ago. Craytrim is our race leader coming across the line for the beginning of lap number 4. Let's go to Audrex, who's challenging McQueen for 4th position. And McQueen and Audrex actually keeping pace here with carryout. Carryout entered tonight's action in 9th position, back behind Jacob T. BOED. Jacob has 58 points, Carryout with 53. 1 point back is Born as Ghost. Let's go to 10th with Disco Joint and that No Coast Brewing car. That Civic Element loves the purple and yellow, or kind of like a neon greenish yellow. But yes, very slick. You'll find not only here in season 37, but a number of seasons, the No Coast Brewing Company getting pretty good representation out here on track. I don't know if any of these drivers are, they know someone within the brewery, or if they just are really big fans. I'll have to ask them that one day. Who knows? I'm sure somebody does. I got to figure it out, though. Here comes AMS Huracan looking to get into the top 10, and doing so with quickness. He is closing that gap on Disco Joint significantly here as they get ready to go downhill. And I'm guessing AMS Huracan is not going to press the issue at this point. Wait until they get onto that back straightaway and then gun it and run it. And he's pushing the car so hard, he finds himself up into the wall. A few sparks. Now he's going to set himself up on the right-hand side. Probably do a little switchback. No, he's going to keep that momentum going. Do a little love tap there to the Falcon signage, the concrete barrier there on the outside of the Force's elbow. Now down the back straightaway toward the start-finish line they go. Disco Joint, he sees him back there, and let's see what happens as they hit the quick little right-hander, this kink, before you throw on the brakes. And there goes Chaos. They light up for him. The front disc glowing there on Disco Joint's car. He's going to get alongside Chaos Fox. They're going to go too wide here into the right-hander, the final right-hander on this track, AMS Huracan. He makes one pass around Disco Joint. Will he make it two? Coming into the final turn? He does not, and actually he gets around Chaos Fox, who drops back 2 spots. It's Disco Joint who moves up to 9th, tentatively. And here they go, lap number 5. And let's go to the X-Venture Rewind and see that little pass there by AMS Huracan on Chaos Fox. And actually a 2-for-1 deal there. Disco Joint and Huracan gaining around Chaos. Cratrim now establishing an even longer bit of separation here between him and the Amazon livery car of Stevie Super Stack. Stevie picked up the win in race number 2 there in week number 1 out at Maple Valley, and actually he dominated that race. It wasn't even close. He was doing laps around, folks. It was Cratrim who finished second in both week 1 races, which is why he came into week number 2, second overall on the leaderboard, or excuse me, first overall on the leaderboard, second to no one. And Stevie Superstack, as he comes through the Force's elbow, he sees Cratrim out there, but sees him out there a bit away, a good ways out. Let's go to carryout in 5th. We've got 530 channel points to go to one person who selected Cratrim to be the winner of this race. If Cratrim can hold on to it, our Twitch predictor in full effect here on Xventure. You can partake as we go into qualifying for our second race of the evening and the second race itself. We'll throw up a question for you to answer with two answers to choose from. And if yours that you select ultimately ends up being the correct one, you'll earn some channel points, which you can then turn around and redeem for a shot at our fall giveaway, the 5-0 gift card, the $50 digital gift card. Across the line they go, beginning of lap number 6 into turn 1. Looking like a real clean race so far. The really only significant incident that we saw, at least in the top 12, top 10, was CMD's Slipstream. And as I go look for his dot out here on the track, we can find him up to 18th position now from 21, where we last saw him there at the beginning of lap 3. And he's got a few more dots out in front of him, so he's not done making passes, I bet. Let's go to Joe Beardy in 7th position. Joe Beardy with 50 points coming out of week 1. Guys, let me know what you think about the racing so far. Let's get a little excitement in the chat, huh? You guys are really, really quiet here tonight. After what was a pretty rambunctious week number 1, I loved it. No, we've got another car up into the wall, and I think that's one of our top 4 or top 5. Was that Audrex? Was that Audrex into the wall? I think it was. Let's take a look at the vehicle damage. I don't think he has any. It looks like, yeah, it was just a scrape, but he did find himself up into the barrier, and that allowed carryout to close that gap back together. Here comes Fear the Fun in 6th position. Fear trying to break into the top 5. Joe Beardy in 7th. Born as Ghost in 8th. AMS Huracan in 9th. Chaos Fox in 10th. Disco Joint has fallen back to 12th position at risk of being passed by Jacob, who's currently sitting in 13th. And let's go back to Joe Beardy once again. We were there for a very short bit of time. Civic Element saying great racing so far. It is. And looking at the pack, all the cars here on the map, we've got these groupings, which we typically get. But what's interesting, the fun that is Bathurst, what it brings to the table is that downhill shoot, and all it takes is one little mistake to really affect the rest of the grid and either bring them close together or spread them out further, depending on where an incident may happen. Not looking for an incident, but just saying that's always a possibility, especially as we go through the race here. This what's going to end up being about a 30, 40-minute race. Get some drivers who maybe get a little complacent, trying to find every tenth of a second downhill. And before they know it, they get spun around. Catch a few drivers that way. Krejcim now just continues to expand upon his lead here. Very well done. Very impressed. Krejcim, who has the most championships won in the Forza Spec Racing Series. I think he's somewhere in the range of 6 to 8. And when we think about AMS Huracan, who picked up his, third championship last season, season 36. Track Saban, what's going on? Welcome to the broadcast again. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. As we continue to watch on air with Joe Beardy, who makes contact with the wall ever so slightly, just enough to throw a few sparks. A little extra dramatic here in Forza Motorsport. AMS Huracan there in 9th. He's closing in quickly. Licking his chops there in the number 99 car. DWM Frog says, the racing is great so far. I predict Huracan will move from last to 5th at the finish. So going from 23rd to 5th, that would be dang impressive. And we are now at the beginning for just a couple of our cars, the beginning of lap number 8. So he does have a lot of time to make it happen, and he's got Born as Ghost. He's got the possibility here for a triple pass around Born as Ghost, Joe Beardy, and Fear the Fun. I'm guessing it's not going to be that easy, however. DOR Carryout in 5th. Audrex in 4th. McQueen is in 3rd. With Stevie Superstack in 2nd. And this would be a nice little battle to watch if it comes to fruition. McQueen climbing his way up through the field here after qualifying. I believe he was good enough in qualifying for row 2, and then during the start fell back a little bit and had to regain position and has done so quite nicely. Stevie lights the tires up there coming up the hill. That puts him off the pace a little bit, and that's going to allow McQueen to close that gap that much more. McQueen, who has been very strong in his participation over the last, I think it's been 2 seasons. And so if McQueen can put something together here in week 2, 3, 4, and 5, he'll still be in the running for the championship despite not having participated there in opening week. Ghibli Giblet says, holy moly ravioli, I'm now here to watch some tires roly-poly. There you go. A little Dr. Seuss there from Ghibli. Down the hill into the left-hander. I love that turn. It's a really fun turn. It's not too difficult when you consider all the different turns you've got here out at Map Panorama, and if you hit it just right, it feels good because you then carry a lot of momentum into that back straightaway. Let's jump back here to 5th position. DUR Carryout with Audrex there, and really there hasn't been much battling between these two. Audrex holding him off quite well. Let's go to AMS Huracan here in 9th position, making the move for 8th on Born as Ghost. He'll be on the outside, coming up to the kink here. Got to be careful, guys. Let's not get it tangled up. There goes Born as Ghost, going to make contact and slam it on the brakes. Well done. Well done. I mean, Huracan is, he's going to make that pass no matter what. But for Born as Ghost to at least put up the fight that he did, that was commendable. And to be able to put up some sort of fight without any incident makes it doubly good. And now here they go into turn number 1. Fear the Fawn and Joe Beardy are side by side with AMS Huracan just looking on saying, hey, what are you guys going to do, huh? Shakespeare is a racing fan. And down the straight here for lap number 9. Look at that. That Fear the Fun with a Tampa Bay Lightning license plate frame. I like it. Fear the Fun. I was going to say putting on a blocking maneuver, but I don't really think he was doing that. Huracan was just getting onto the back bumper there and laying it on thick. And now here comes AMS Huracan up to 6th position from 23rd at the start of the race. Can he get into the top 5? Heck, can he get into the top 3 at this point? Next on his target, DOR Carryout and Audrex, who actually are a little bit closer now. So let's go to Carryout. Again, everybody driving the 2005 BMW M3. They're all set up the same. That's the point of a spec series. 276 horsepower, 289 foot-pounds of torque, and these BMWs, they're a heavy 3,678 pounds. But a lot of our drivers telling us there in week number 1 that the car is very maneuverable. Unlike the Bugatti EB110 from season 36, despite it having quite a bit less weight, the Bugatti was apparently an understeer monster. And now down that back straightaway they go, charging toward the start-finish line, beginning of lap number 10. Let's go to 9th, Born as Ghost. He's got Joe Beardy still in his sights. Fear the Fun now has fallen back to 7th, obviously, with Huracan going up to 6th. Oh, Born as Ghost with a little bit of late braking action there. And it actually kind of paid off. He was able to close that gap a little bit here for 8th position. He's looking at Joe Beardy heading into turn number 1. Will he go side by side with him here? He does not. The Liqui Moly car trying to chase down another variant of the BMW racing colors there, Joe Beardy's. How far back is Huracan from 5th place driver? 700 feet is what Huracan's telling us. I think gleaning that from the ticker up above. But, gosh, with 4 laps to go, 3.5 laps to go, he's got lots of time to make that happen. And especially if Carryout and Audrex, and there goes Born as Ghost, turned around on the very early part of the uphill. Let's go to Disco Joint. Disco Joint closing in. He sees, I bet Disco Joint sees that tire smoke and goes, oh, somebody's made a mistake here. And sure enough, he makes the charge, trying to secure that top 10 finish if he can grab one more spot, because he's got Funtang knocking on the door. And what we know about Funtang over many seasons of the Forza Spec Racing Series, Funtang will not let up. Craytrim closing in on a few of the back markers. McQueen there in 2nd. Stevie has fallen off pace from McQueen. So what I was hoping to be a pretty good battle is actually not panned out very well. And McQueen will grab 2nd place. Can McQueen make the charge up to Craytrim here with 3 to go? Let's go to Funtang again. Funtang not in his usual NVIDIA magenta and green livery. How the heck do you have the focus to race circles around the guys and watch the stream and reply to comments? Talking to AMS Huracan. Good point. I completely overlooked the fact that AMS Huracan is responding to questions in the chat before I can even see them, and is running to catch up with 5th position. And then, of course, he throws a little he there Maniacal, man. You're maniacal. And Funtang, he's been hanging out here on the back bumper of Disco Joint for at least the last lap. And I don't know if he's got a part of the track where he's seen himself to be better than Disco Joint. But if he has, he might want to try to take a run at him at some point here. Lap 11. 2 3/4 to go for this bunch right here. Krejcir, our race leader ever since the start. That's where he qualified, and he's still there. McQueen in second. Stevie is in third. Fourth is Audrex. Carryout in fifth. Huracan up to sixth, and he will soon be rapping on the door of Carryout. Fear the Fun in seventh with Joe Beardy. Nice little battle there. Born as Ghost, Disco Joint, and Funtang in a three-way battle. Chaos Fox in 12th. Jacob in 13th. Kuda in 14th. Slipstream has made his way up into 15th. Well done after an incident there on lap number 1, forcing him to pit. Slow Motion Fire in 16th. Raccoon in 17th. Z827 in 18th. Fox Jason Diaz in 19th. Then it's Beer, Grim, Gumby Greg, 20th through 22nd. Unfortunately, we have lost one driver, Mortismo. And there goes Funtang around Disco Joint, just like that after Disco Joint either having some sort of mistake or possibly yielded to Funtang. Let me run it back on the X-Venture rewind and see. Let's go to Stevie, who's now closing in on McQueen. A battle for second. There goes Stevie to the inside. That's no dive bomb. That's a beautifully executed maneuver to get around. Actually, I take it back. That's Gumby Greg. That is the back marker. That is not second of McQueen. Gosh darn it, I wish it were. Oh, let's go take a look at that move there. Funtang around Disco Joint. No texting and driving, Huracan. Yeah. Krejcir, can he hold on to it for another lap and a half? So far, so good. And now things are starting to thin out through the field. Let's go to Kuda, 93 here in 15th position. Back behind Slipstream and was that Jacob? It is. Let's see how Krejcir deals with back markers here. That's Grimm in 21st position as they go rolling down the hill. Krejcir, I'm guessing, is going to take it easy. And as soon as I say that, he makes a pass downhill on Grimm, gets a little squirrely into the entrance of Force's elbow, now exits. And with that, he'll be good to go for a while. Grimm goes nose first into the tire wall. And so with a lap and 1/4 to go, Krejcir can pick up his first win here in Season 37. Assuming there is no issue, either with his own driving or with that sole back marker. Let's look at that move there by Krejcir. He goes for it. I mean, I get it. Stevie and McQueen aren't letting up, so I guess you got to pedal down in every sector of the track, no matter who's around you. And that's exactly what Krejcir has done. And now into turn number 1 for the final time. The white flag flies for Krejcir in first. McQueen in second. Stevie in third. Audrex is in fourth. Carryout in fifth. Huracan still there in sixth. Can he catch up? He's telling us there in the pit lane or the Twitch chat that he actually does have some damage. That's going to hamper his cause. Joe Beardy in seventh. Fear the Fun in eighth. Born as Ghost in ninth. And Funtang right now is rounding out the top 10. Let's go to Carryout in fifth. A-Shirt has joined us in the chat saying, let's go, Kuda. Kuda 93. Who I mentioned is in 15th. A respectable 15th out of 23 drivers who started this race. A full grid here for race number 3 in the season. Our first race of the evening, and we'll have one more coming at you here right after this. Qualifying out there at Lime Rock, followed by 40, I think that 31 laps of racing. Craytrim looking solid. He does have McQueen closing in on him. Perhaps the back marker did slow him up momentarily, but now he's got clear air. Nobody out in front of him for the eye can see. And the only thing that stands between him now is a right-hand kink, then the sharp left, then the right, and then that final left-hander out here at Mount Panorama. Again, looking for that first victory here in Season 37, which will put him on the right path toward the championship, starting week 1 out solidly, picking up 94 points. Flagman has the checkers. Around the corner comes Craytrim. Going to give us a little bit of a slide, and across the line he goes. Craytrim getting the win out here at Mount Panorama for the first race of week number 2. Very well done. Back behind him will be McQueen. Stevie in 3rd. 4th will be Drex. Carry out in 5th. Let's go to Joe Beardy, who is in 7th with Huracan in front of him, and it looks like Joe Beardy's gotten around Huracan, who's picked up some damage to his car, and with that, Joe Beardy will grab 6th. Huracan in 7th. 8th is going to go to Fear the Fun. Born as Ghost, if he can hold on with Foontang back behind him, will get 9th. Foontang in 10th. Disco Joint just outside the top 10 in 11th. 12th goes to Chaos Fox. Let's go to Slipstream here in 15th with Kuda out in front of him. Can Slipstream make a pass? He's looking to rope it back in. There goes Kuda. Get a little bit sideways. Can Slipstream get the run on him? Up across the line. He does not. Kuda kind of jams him up there. Not able to get the run, and so Slipstream 15th. About as good as you can hope for after suffering damage there on lap number 1, having to go into pit lane. Slow Motion Fire in 16th. AP1 Raccoon in 17th position. Looks like Z827 is going to pick up 18th. Fox Jason D in 19th. Beer in 20th. Grim in 21st. Gumby Greg in 22nd. And it's Mortismo who's unable to finish this race with a DNF early on. All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and run some ads real quick. And actually, let me go ahead and congratulations to Civic Element, who voted for Craytrim, the only one to vote for Craytrim. And so the pot goes to Civic Element. Well done. Well done. There you go. Extra points for you, getting you that much closer to another redemption for our fall giveaway, the $50 digital gaming gift card. I'm Dustin Moore. You're watching Xventure here live on Twitch TV. I'm going to go ahead and take note of where everybody finished. We'll bring a driver or two into our driver spotlight, and we'll get ready for the action in race number 2 here this evening. Hang tight. Enjoy the ads. I'll be right back. And welcome back to X Venture here live on Twitch TV for Season 37 action of the Forza Spec Racing Series. I'm Dustin Moore, and joining me here in the driver's spotlight is Fox Jason D. Fox Jason D, you finish in 19th position behind Z827 and Grim. I'm guessing there was quite the battle back there, just as there was elsewhere mid-pack. And I'm not hearing Fox Jason D either, so perhaps the issue is on my side. I'm going to go ahead and restart my Discord and see if I can't get everything back up and running. These are the points as they were coming into week number 2 action, not where they stand as a result of the race that you just saw, but rather just to kind of give you an idea as to where everybody stood before we got things kicked off here tonight. We'll pick up week number 3 a week from tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on X Venture. Don't you miss it. Yeah, we're going for the next 3 weeks, all the way to the week 5 finale, with things concluding out at Sebring in the rain. In the rain. All right, let me try this again here. Let me try this again. Test, test. Fox Jason D, can you hear me? And can I hear you? Huh. Well, this is weird. Not had this happen before. I can't say I know what's going on because I've restarted. Restarted Discord and everything. Let me try with Grim. Test, test. Grim, can you hear me? And it looks like he can. I just can't hear him. Things have gone a little wonky here. You think it's fixed? Test, test, 1, 2. Can you hear me, Grim? What would be causing this? I don't know that I'm going to have a solution right now. It might just be something where I have to... It might just be something where I have to... will have to restart my computer. I don't think there's been an update to Discord that I'm missing. Did I deafen myself on Discord? I don't think so. No? I am not deafened. Let me try one more time here. Yeah, this is a bummer. We love having our driver spotlight interviews. While that's happening, by the way, let's go ahead and start ourselves the next prediction. Quickest clean qualifying lap time. Will it be faster than a minute? Or will it be slower than 1 minute? You all go ahead and decide. Use your channel points to vote for which you think is most likely to happen. Is my channel muted? I don't think so. I don't know why it would do that. Channel is not muted. No. Not muted. Carry out. Can you hear me? Oh, no. That's weird. You guys can hear me. I cannot hear you. Let me do this. Let me do this. How about now? Carry out. Can you hear me? You can hear me. I can't hear you. That is so weird. Well, folks, as much as I hate to say it, I don't think we're going to get any driver spotlight interviews for tonight. Unfortunately. I don't have anything muted. Nothing is deafened. Everything is just as I leave it week in, week out. You guys can hear me. The only thing I could think is I've got to restart my computer or something. That's the only thing I could think of. Let me check out the server options. Or actually just let me not do that right now. No need to break anything for the broadcast. I'll just have to figure out what's going on. And who knows, maybe a computer restart is all it's going to take to get things fixed back up. What a bummer. You guys can hear me. I just can't hear you. That's weird. Voice and video. I don't know. I don't see anything to suggest that that it's blocking audio. There's nothing that shows me any sort of like setting, muting the channel, and when I right click on the channel, it shows the box unchecked for muting and deafening. Huh. Oh, who knows? Maybe after this race, I can kind of fiddle around with it and see if I can get it to work. Make sure you guys are casting your vote here. You've got 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes. You got a minute and a half to cast your vote. Use your channel points up above. Will the quickest qualifying lap be under a minute, or will it be a minute or more? MS Huracan says, starting at the back again for this race. I'm having fun tonight. There you go. We got right now, you guys, the majority of you are predicting that the quickest qualifying lap time will be a minute or slower, while we've got at least one individual saying that it will be a minute or faster, or actually faster than a minute. 1 minute and 1 second. This is not The Price is Right. Well, it could be. It could be a minute and a second. Carry out saying 58.8. Okay. There you guys go. Take that for what you will. I think we've got, a few seconds left? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place your bets. Place your bets. All right, here we go. Getting ready for qualifying out at Lime Rock. Disco Joint will be the first one off the line. Give y'all a little bit of audio here. Sammy J. Peps, easily faster than a minute. Steve with the pole. There you go. Sammy, I don't think Sammy voted, but gonna lay it out there in text. But yeah, Civic Element, our big winner there from race number 1, saying that Craytrim was gonna win it, and sure enough, Craytrim did. And Craytrim voted against himself to say that he was trying to jinx himself to actually win the race. And so now, Craytrim, you just got to vote against yourself every time now. And here they go. Back out onto the front straightaway across the line, the Samposi straight. Some of the drivers not even breaking off the grid yet. And Muertismo with a 105.346 on the standing start. Now Jacob with a 103.284. McQueen with a 101, getting close. Can he bring that down a minute and a half? We got our camera here on Stevie Superstack, finishing in third for race number 1, back behind McQueen. McQueen picking up second place there at Bathurst. So Stevie want to try to stay within that top 3 of the leaderboard. Is going to be looking for a top 3 finish once again here in race number 4 of the season, because he's got Slipstream and Andrex who could overtake depending on their finishes here in this race. Again, drop week rule is in effect, so as we present the points next Tuesday, there may not be a big shift. There may not be a change in a lot of the standings, but every single week matters. Even in a week where you think you've done your absolute worst, you hope not, but you just never know when you might have a week that does you one even worse. You're like, gosh, man, I got, 2 top 15 finishes, whereas I should be in the top 10. And then you go out another week and you've got a DNF and then a top 20 finish or something like that. You just never know. So you got to take every race and make the most of it. Stevie Superstack going to go ahead and make the most of those sponsor signs on the side of the Sam Posey straight. Kick them out across the grid. And there you go, McQueen with a 58.799 after carryout there in the chat said, yeah, you're going to have a 58.8 out there. Sure enough, Mortismo looking to win the pot here from our Twitch predictor. Will anybody do better than a 58.7? As we see Cratrim here on the third and final. Actually, I take that back, has already finished 3 laps of qualifying. So whoever we have left, will they be able to do him one better? I don't know that anybody will. Look like Fear the Fun currently 14th in terms of quickest time. And that'll do it. Go ahead and take a look at the times that everybody set. And again, for the second straight vote, we've had just one person predict correctly the outcome, and that being Mortismo there, faster than 1 minute. Congratulations there, Mortismo. You get the winnings. All right, let's go ahead and I'll throw another one here. Let's make this one a let's guess where Stevie Superstack will finish. Top 3, P4, or lower. We're going to go ahead and give you 10 minutes on this one. And let me go ahead and correct my grammar there on that question. Where will Stevie Superstack finish? Top 3 or P4 or lower? Go for it. Ghibli Giblet saying top 1. Well, you got an option there. Sammy J. Pep saying top 3, of course. We'll see. Disco Joint with a 1 minute, almost a 1 minute flat, 1 minute and 1/10. Mortismo also with a 1 minute, 4/10. CMD Slipstream with a 59.872. That might be good enough for row number 1. Jacob with a 103. Slow Motion Fire also with a 1 minute, 7/10. Well done there by Slow. AP1 Raccoon with a 104. Born as Ghost with a 1 minute, 4/10. 59.356 there for Stevie. So that will be good for row number 1, putting Slipstream on row number 2, which tentatively has Super Stack in that top 3 if he can hold on to it. Kuda with a 1 minute, 3.72, but dirtied. That'll put him at the back of the pack. 59.920 there for Chaos Fox. That should be enough for row number, well, hold on here. McQueen with a 58.799. Wow. And 58.749 for Craytrim. So Craytrim will be on pole. McQueen outside of him there on row number 1. And then we'll see where everybody else is when Slow Motion Fire sets the grid. But then you got a 102 there for Beer Fox. Audrex with a 59.437. Wow, these times there within that last lap, I think where folks were getting into the top or getting in under a sub 1 minute time. Joe Beardy with a 1 minute, 4/10. 59, but dirty there for carry out. Grim with a 104. A 1 minute, 3/10 for Z827. Well done. Foontang with a 1 minute, 3/10, but dirtied. Fox Jason D with a 102. Gumby Greg with a 105.127 out of 22 drivers who qualified. I think AMS Huracan says, I'm going to be in on that race. I'm just not going to qualify. I'll be at the back of the pack. So Huracan, have fun. Enjoy. As his crew chief, I have to have full belief in Steve. You do. You're obligated, for sure. No question. No question. Let me take a look at where you all are placing your bets here. Oh, there we go. A little bit more participation. Come on, let's get some more participation. This is going to be fun. They're just channel points. They're just channel points. And speaking of which, again, and I'm going to keep harping on this because really I want you all to be as entered as much as possible. Channel points, those are those things that you get they're at the bottom of the chat. They're built into Twitch, so you don't have to sign up for anything. You don't have to do any hashtag or exclamation mark. You don't have to go to an external site. You don't have to do any of that. Just keep watching the broadcast as you do. You earn more points. And then those points can be redeemed, 1,000 of them, for an entry into our fall raffle for that $50 PlayStation, Xbox, or Steam gift card. Your choice if you are the one lucky random winner, the one person who is randomly selected to win the fall giveaway. And again, I can't say this enough. These raffles are only possible thanks to the contributions of you all, the viewers. Those of you who subscribe to the channel who can, and of course, if you've got your free Twitch Prime subscription and you want to use it on this broadcast, great choice, if I do say so myself. And then anybody who donates through the Twitch bits. I like to give everything back. There's no reason for me to put that stuff in my pocket. I want to give you all a reason, continue to incentivize you as if the racing weren't good enough. Give you an incentive for coming back. And then, of course, giving you a chance to maybe walk out of here with a little bit of something to go and enjoy your gaming hobby. You want to go buy some DLC? $50 will get you pretty far. You got a game that's coming out pretty soon, and you want to be able to pay off a good chunk of it without having to dip into your own wallet? Well, you can do that with that gift card. So any way that I can help give back to the viewers who make this all worth it, make it worth it to come out here on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays to broadcast, I'm going to pursue that. All right, we've got our drivers who are on the grid. They're all locked in, loaded, and ready to go. It'll be Crater McQueen, row number 1. Stevie Super Stack. They're in row number 2 with Audrex. Then it's Slipstream, Chaos Fox, Disco Joint, and Z827 there in row number 4. Then row 5 is Mortismo, Born as Ghost. They round out the top 10. Joe Beardy and Slow Motion Fire. They make up the next 10 here of our 23 car grid. Fear the Fun and Fox Jason D, 14th and 15th respectively. Jacob T, BOED, AP1 Raccoon, Grim, Gumby Greg, Carryout, Foontang, Kuda, Huracan, who did not qualify. He wanted to go from worst to first, or zero to hero, out here at Lime Rock. 31 laps. 31 laps, folks, in the dry conditions. There are no rain options here, but it is quite overcast and seemingly a bit muggy. It just kind of has that muggy look to it, with a bit of a haze or dampness there in the background. Kick the tires, light the fires, ladies and gentlemen. Week number 2 is coming to a close with this one out here at Lime Rock. 31 laps and into turn number 1. You guessed it. It's Cratrim. And he's going to take them into 2 and 3. Actually make that 3 and 4. And then out onto the no-name straight. And they're looking pretty single file there through much of the field. We've got one car who's doing their best John Deere impression. That's going to be Foontang, it looks like. Unless my timing was just all kinds of messed up. But somebody was off into the grass there, coming out on the no-name straight. Z827 there in 8th position, having a heck of a qualifying time. And it looked like we had somebody there into the infield. That yellow car, able to bring it back. That is... I can't make out who that is back there. I need a spotter's guide is what I need. Would that be Mortismo? I think it is. The front end of Mortismo's car. Yeah, it is, who I saw there off into the infield, coming up the hill on the backside of the track. Beginning of lap number 2 here, and it is McQueen still sitting there in second position. In just a very simple design there for his BMW M3. There's Drex in 3rd. McQueen, Stevie Superstack falling into 4th position out of the top 3. And yes, you can continue to submit your bets. The predictor is still open, giving you a little bit of a preview here to maybe have a change of heart or throw down some extra channel points. Go bold on your pick here. Stevie back up into 3rd after getting around Drex. 5th is Chaos Fox. Disco Joint in 6th position. Slipstream in 7th. Z827 in 8th. Born as Ghost. Joe Beardy 9 and 10. Having a lot of fun hanging out with y'all here on a Tuesday evening. Hopefully you're staying socially distanced, happy and healthy. And if things look as promising as if things are as promising as they look, hopefully we'll have some vaccines out here pretty soon. Of course, we'll continue, I'm sure, to employ safety measures until we know this thing is a little bit more well under control. But glad to have you all hanging out with me here on a Tuesday evening, and we'll be at it again here the next 3 Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, with the Forza Spec Racing Series. Stevie across the line in 3rd position. Let's jump back to 7th with Slipstream. He's trying to take on 3 drivers here at once. Out in front of him in 6th position, that's going to be Disco Joint, the No Coast Brewing car, the Mammoth Barreled Ale, or Stout, I should say. Oh, Chaos Fox saying heck there in the chat. I don't know if Chaos Fox is disconnected or... No, still out there on the track, but perhaps having to go into pit lane. No, he's in 5th. Let's get a look at this action here from the hood of Slipstream. Slip. Let's Disco Joint get by. at least for the time being. Slip now to the inside out of 2. Lines him up here for turn number 3. Gives Disco Joint the room that he needs to at least get onto his rocker panel. Gives him a little bit of a tap there on the driver's side door. And off they go into the no-name straight. Disco in 7th. Slipstream back to 6th. They're going to go side by side now. Coming up to the right-hander. Who's going to break first? Looks like it's Disco Joint who's going to err on the side of caution and allow Slip to hold on to 6th, at least for now. Oh, he said that before the start. Well, gosh darn it, it's just too dang quiet in the chat then. If there's been no other comments since then. Here comes Disco Joint now as the battle ensues. He's going to go to the inside. This is where he made the pass last time by, and now Slipstream. Are we watching a replay? What's going on here? The exact same maneuvering there as Slipstream goes back up to 6th here into turn number 3. Disco Joint once again is going to look to the low line, but Slipstream, he's going to go ahead and close that door this time as he starts to close in on Chaos Fox, who is in 5th. Disco Joint kind of peering out to the inside now as they go back up the hill. They're going to go side by side once again down the back straightaway. And now Disco Joint with the advantage. He's going to run it a little bit wide. Heck, he runs it quite a bit wide, able to recover it just in time before Slip makes the pass. Out onto the front straightaway they go for the beginning of lap number 7. Thought I had a replay there. I did not. Back behind Slipstream, Z827 still in 8th position. AMS Huracan has made it all the way from 23rd now to 9th position. Born as Ghost in 10th. Let's go to, well, that's going to be Born as Ghost. He's trying to hold off both Slow Motion Fire and Joe Beardy. Joe Beardy with 2 wheels off into the grass. And I thought maybe Slow Motion Fire was going to be able to take advantage of that. He didn't. He just kind of hung back there. You do have to be careful. You got some room out here at Lime Rock, but it's just one of those tracks that you feel like, I mean, it looks like you've got a lot of room, but really only on the straightaways where I've ever felt comfortable getting too wide. Beyond that, every other corner, too wide usually results in somebody going flying off the track, and you've got a lot of grass here out at Lime Rock between the racing surface and the outside barriers, retaining walls. And so you get off in that grass and then you're just scooting forever. AMS Huracan now up to 8th position. As we hang out here with Born as Ghost in 10th. As I run through the field, once again, it's McQueen in first. Let's go to Cratrim, who's now been passed by McQueen. It was Cratrim who had the top qualifying time. And I believe McQueen was opposite of him there on row number 1. And so for right now, these two will go ahead and swap positions with Stevie in the rearview mirror. Chaos Fox in 5th. Disco Joint is 6th. Slipstream is in 7th. Let's go to AMS Huracan. They're in 8th. Very early on in this race. Already making his way up through the field. He taps that tire wall. Oh, I thought he was going to tag that thing in the wrong way and send his car careening off into the grass. Fortunately for both he and Born as Ghost, it did not. It was just a little bit of a tap. I imagine he was doing quite a bit of maneuvering and braking there to keep that one from going south quickly. Amos Huracan maybe looking a little bit less aggressive here at this point. Not putting on the pressure right now. If you can read this, bump draft me. Slipstream's nice little bumper sticker there, and Slip is just going to go ahead and concede to Huracan. He's not going to be able to hold him off, feeling like, hey, I can't keep this dude on my back bumper the entire race. Just not going to happen. Completely understandable. RZ and McQueen still our race leader. Cratrim in second. Stevie, Stuper, Stack in third. Will we have a three-way battle for the lead as we get ready to enter the midway point of this one out at Lime Rock? Ghibli Giblet saying, I'd be scared if I was a lonely stacked tire on a tire wall here at Lime Rock. The tires, they get used and abused here in Forza Motorsport. More so when they don't have the Forza race regulations turned on. They turn them on for the races. That way it clears those tire walls, most of them, from outside the inside of the, or from away from the inside of the apexes, and then you only have those that are up on the guardrails. But yeah, even then, the tires are not absolved of the punishment. Got that raffle notification there by Nightbot in the chat. All the information you need to know, and there's a little link there that'll take you to Twitch's article about how to earn channel points, both here on Xventure and elsewhere across the Twitch community. Raffle will be on December 8th, following the Week 5 finale here of the Forza Spec Racing Series. Back up the hill goes Stevie. He gets a little bit wide, making the most use of that runoff area. Now our lead drivers, our top three, starting to flirt with the back markers here. That's Grimm in 23rd position. The caboose here on this 23 car train around Lime Rock. And Stevie will use the outside line. Grimm giving him some room there as they cross the line, beginning of lap 13. Stevie to the outside, then ropes it back into the inside. Well done. ES1 Stance, welcome to the broadcast. Great to have you here. Amos Huracan now up to 4th position, getting around Audrex, the Ryzen car. And we'll see if Amos Huracan has what it takes to challenge the top three. Again, with more than half the race remaining, so plenty of time to do it. Just hoping he doesn't make a mistake, or at least for his sake, hoping not to make a mistake in this race. Oh, and there's a little bit of a tap there. Drax getting the bump from Disco Joint. I think that's maybe the second time that we've seen that. Once out there at Bathurst, and now here at Lime Rock. Disco Joint and Drax finding themselves to be quite similar in pace and very competitive here. Season 37. Audrex, again with that victory in race number 2. Excuse me, in race number 1 out at Circuit of the Americas. His first victory in the Forza Spec Racing Series, if you can believe it or not. Now McQueen with a large lead here over Cratrim. Let's go to Stevie. Stevie looking to make a pass for second. A little bit of the chase here between Cratrim and Stevie. Cratrim coming out of race number 1 here this evening there at Bathurst was able to hold everybody off and pick up the win. A second place finish would be that would be solid. That would be a great way to come out of week number 2, knowing that, hey, I've got this week where I did solid, a win in second place. That means, hey, if week 3 or week 4 or week 5 don't happen to be the best of weeks for me, I've got some good week 1 and week 2 points to fall back on. Again, he was at the top of the leaderboard with 94 coming into week 3. So just looking to pile on top of that there. Stevie sliding it out there of the final corner, which takes him about a car and a half length back from where he was in challenging Cratrim. Let's go to Chaos Fox here in 6th position. Right behind him, Disco Joint in 7th. Here comes Disco Joint to the inside. Chaos Fox goes ahead and drops down, making the blocking maneuver there. An acceptable blocking maneuver. Disco there in 7th. Slipstream in 8th. Borna's Ghost in 9th. Slow Motion Fire in 10th. Then you got Joe Beardy, Fear the Fun, Carry Out, Kuda, Jacob, 11th through 15th. Grim into the mix here as one of the back markers. Chaos Fox, there goes Disco Joint looking to the inside. A little bit of sparks there as they make contact, bumper to bumper. Chaos holds on to 6th, and it's Slipstream who's he's got Grim there, and he's just trying to find every way around Grim possible, because the more he sits behind these back markers, the further away Chaos and Audrex get. And Disco Joint in the same position. Those two will have to work together somehow to get around the P22 car. Let's go to Slipstream in 8th. Check out Holland for the weekend here this Friday. There goes Disco Joint off the track. Able to make a recovery, not before Slow Motion Fire finds a way around. And so Disco Joint will actually lose what looks to be 2 positions here. And as I was saying, Holland for the weekend this Friday. We'll continue our little drive through the new Colorado DLC in American Truck Simulator. That starts at 6 p.m. Eastern this Friday. Holland for the weekend. McQueen out in front. Cratrim in 2nd. Stevie in 3rd. Amos Huracan all by himself in 4th. Trying to close in and make a run for the top 3. Audrex in 5th. Chaos Fox in 6th. Borna's Ghost is 7th. Slipstream in 8th. Slow Motion Fire in 9th. And then Disco Joint, who we saw fall back a couple of spots. Now they're in 10th. Another back marker, Beer, up ahead. DWM Frog saying some good battles. Yes, indeed. Back up the hill. Beer getting a little squirrely. Able to make the recovery. Sets it up for the right-hander. Here comes Born as Ghost. Going to want to try to make a quick pass. Maybe he can do it here on the straightaway. We are on board with Slipstream, who has slow motion fire not too far back, and then Disco Joint in 10th. Lovely two-way battle there for 11th. Joe Beardy and Kuda. And there goes Born as Ghost, able to make that pass. And oh no, there comes Beer down low onto Slipstream's front left quarter panel. And that's going to put Slip off the pace a little bit. Slip to the outside now here. Oh no, and there comes Disco Joint. Disco Joint with a bit of a dive into the middle. And now Disco Joint is off the track. Slow motion fire, who was in 9th, stays in 9th, despite Disco's best efforts. That was a little sketchy right there. And Disco Joint was probably expecting slow motion fire and Slipstream to be much quicker through there, but they had a back marker in front of them. They couldn't go anywhere. And as a result, Disco Joint finds his the nose of his BMW M3 right into the middle. A little aggressive there. Fortunately, it doesn't seem like there was any damage, and really the only one who suffered significantly as a result of it was Disco Joint. Disco Joint now back to 14th position as we go to the X-Venture Rewind. Let's go to Stevie. Challenging Craytrim for second. When might we see Amos Huracan be a part of this battle? They're going too wide up the hill. Stevie to the inside with the Amazon car. He's going to go back into the single file formation here with Craytrim down the hill. Probably a wise decision that. Now back onto the straightaway, beginning of lap number 24 of 31. Huracan now just coming across the line right now. Give you an indication of how far back he is from these two. And just want to throw it out there, it was Amos Huracan who voted in our Twitch predictor that Stevie Superstack would finish 4th or lower. And so really, his $300 channel point bet hinges on him being able to catch up here with Stevie, put him in 4th, and not let him back up into 3rd or 2nd. Of course, Craytrim, he's got work cut out for him as there's a little bit of contact there. Bumper to bumper. Craytrim holds on to it. And he's going to get this from Stevie throughout the race. Grimm off into the grass, going to allow the lead cars to go on by. A little bit of separation here. You could stick another M3 in between these two at this point. 276 horsepower, 289 foot-pounds of torque, 3,678 pounds of curb weight. These are very heavy BMW M3s, but like I was mentioning, our drivers there in week 1 telling us that the car is surprisingly good despite its weight in terms of turning. It corners. Here comes Stevie to the inside. He makes the move, and oh, we've got Fear the Fun, who's turned around there on the inside. And Stevie makes his way through. Can the same be said for Craytrim? Did he sustain any damage? He did not. However, the damage may be done there with Stevie up to 2nd and by a pretty wide margin. Fear the Fun. turned around. I mean, car completely turned around. Nose facing the wrong direction with second and third coming up on him. That's always a very precarious situation there. The battle for 6th through 9th has waned a little bit. Chaos Fox up to 6th. Born as Ghost in 7th. Slipstream in 8th. I guess there is the battle for 8th there between Slip and Slow Motion Fire. Kuda in 10th. Joe Beardy in 11th. Jacob in 12th. Disco Joint now up one spot from 14th after that incident earlier on. Let's go to Stevie, who's closing in on our race leader, McQueen. Just like that, the battle for first has reemerged, and it's going to be Stevie to the inside. Can he make it stick? He holds it. Elbows out. The Amazon car up to P1 with that orange number board. First time here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, and looking to pick up his second win. He got the win in race number 2 out at Maple Valley and was uncontested. Not the same case here out at Lime Rock. Can he hold off McQueen? Can he hold off Cratrim? Will AMS Huracan get into the mix? Nice move for first, says Civic Element. Yes, it was, and I'm not entirely sure if I caught it on RX Venture Rewind, but let's give it a shot. See what we can find. I did not. Across the line, beginning of lap 28 now. And now McQueen dropping back to 3rd position. Crater moves up to 2nd into the big right-hander. Audrex in 5th. Chaos Fox in 6th. We talked about 7, 8, 9, and 10. Joe Beardy is in 11th. Disco Joint now up another spot to 12th. Jacob in 13th. Z827 unfortunately falling back to 14th. We saw him as far up as 8th here in the early bits of the race. Funtang in 15th. Carryout in 16th. Mortismo got that DNF there in our first race of the evening at Bathurst is in 17th. AP1 Raccoon in 18th. Fox Jason D is 19th. Then you've got Beer, Gumby Greg, Grimm, and Fear the Fun 20th through 23rd. All 23 drivers who started are out on the track. Now McQueen falling back a little bit here with Cratrim. Going to try to catch up. A Cratrim win here would be huge. 100 points when you win both races in the evening. They take your top 4 weeks worth of points. That's your championship point total. That's what matters. You win the championship, you get the bragging rights, and you get to pick the car for season 38. Beginning of lap 30 of 31. Join me this Sunday as I kick off my playthrough of Red Dead Redemption 2, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on X-Venture. Next time by will be the white flag. Let's go up to Cratrim as he tries to close in here on our race leader, McQueen. Excuse me, Stevie. We've got another car off the track. That's going to be Grimm. White flag is out, past the flag stand, across the line, and here we go. Final lap of the evening. Can Cratrim make the move? Then you've got back there in 3rd position, McQueen, if he can put the pedal to the metal. AMS Huracan is actually closing in on McQueen. Huracan trying to go from 23rd to 3rd here this evening. He went from 23rd to 7th out at Bathurst, trying to do that whole zero to hero thing. And now, halfway done with the final lap of the evening, up the hill to the crest. Right-hander, then one more. Stevie with lap traffic that may be slowing him down slightly as they go into the corner, and Stevie will hold on to it. Our race leader picking up his second victory here in Season 37 of the Forza Spec Racing Series. AMS Huracan moves up to 3rd, putting McQueen back behind him into 4th. Audrex in 5th. Chaos Fox is 6th. Born as Ghost. Let's go to Born as Ghost, who's in 7th. Can he catch up with Chaos here on this last corner? I don't think he's going to be able to do it, barring any mistake there by Chaos Fox. And nope, everybody's looking clean. Born as Ghost in 7th. Kuda should be able to grab 8th. Here comes Slow Motion Fire, though, pretty close behind him. And Slow Motion Fire just doesn't have enough oomph to get out in front of Kuda. Disco Joint will grab a top 10 spot there despite his incident earlier on. Joe Beardy in 11th, Slipstream in 12th, Jacob in 13th, Funtang, DUR Carryout, Z827, Mortismo, Raccoon, Fox Jason D, Beer, Gumby Greg, Fear the Fun, and Grim. 23 drivers finishing this race. That's the way we like to see it. All right, for those of you who said that Stevie would win the race, congratulations, or excuse me, get into the top 3, congratulations. The only one who bet against that, AMS Huracan. And so those of you who did say Stevie would be in the top 3, there you get a few extra channel points to your name, care of AMS Huracan, who made a strong case. He was close. If he had another, 3 or 4 laps, perhaps he would have been able to pull it off. Of course, that would have required that Stevie actually fall back not just 1 spot, but then 2 additional spots. So odds were against you guys there for a little bit, or at least against AMS Huracan in terms of that predictor. All right, folks, we're going to take a little bit of a break here. I suppose we'll try the driver's spotlight here this evening, despite the fact that Discord has completely made it impossible for me here tonight. But we'll give it one shot. We'll see if we can't get anybody on the microphone here during the driver spotlight segment as we close things up. Week number 2, Season 37, very exciting. Looking forward to seeing how the points progress over the next 3 weeks, which weeks end up being the drivers' worst weeks, their drop weeks. Who's going to be the champion of this thing? It's a toss-up right now. We'll be right back. I'm Dustin Moore. You're watching X-Venture live on Twitch TV. And welcome back to X Venture here, live on Twitch TV, wrapping up week number 2 of racing in season 37 with the BMW M3. Let me go and let's give this a shot. The driver spotlight, we've never really not had it work for us before, and here it is, seemingly not working. Chaos Fox, can you hear me and can I hear you? Let's give it a try.
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, try that one more time.
Hello?
Yeah, there we go. It works. I fixed it. I changed.
Awesome.
I changed some things, and I know you want to chat because here you are finishing in 6th place, I believe, back behind Audrex and Born as Ghost, or in front of Born as Ghost, I should say.
Yes.
Well done. Pretty solid considering the competition we have out here today. Yes,
I'm really happy. I mean, I did terrible at Bathurst, but Bathurst is a big, big weak track for me. I feel super confident here because just the other week, Tora's running a BMW E30 Spec Series, and this was one of the tracks, and I actually put a lot of practice time into this track, so it's still super burned into my memory. And other than the fact that this car is heavier than the E30, after some qualifying and after a bit of practice, it just all started to come back to me. Short tracks like this is my strong point, and I didn't expect to finish so high up, but I qualified 6th, I finished 6th. A little bit of lap traffic mixed things up, but I had a good battle with Audrex until lap traffic kind of separated us. But I think if that didn't happen, I would have been on his back bumper right till the very end, because him and I were super even. I couldn't find a way around him. I was running full aero here, and I noticed it was helping me in some of the bit more technical bits of the track, but Audrex was able to hold me off, and that was a very good race. I had a lot of fun.
Awesome. We're talking here with Chaos Fox, finishing 6th out here at Lime Rock after a 12th place finish there at Bathurst earlier on in this evening. Tell me, Lime Rock, again, I'm not a big fan of the track, but it was so much the track as it was the car that really provided the great racing out here. We heard nothing but great things about the BMW M3 and its configuration here in the Forza Spec Racing Series there in week number 1. So is it because of the car that makes the racing so great here?
Definitely. The car's a little bit tricky, again, because of its weight, but once you get the suspension and aero on this car correct, it's a lot of fun to drive. And once you find a groove and you just hit your marks again and again and again, you find yourself getting quicker every single lap by just a couple tenths. And that's what I was doing in qualifying, and that's what I was trying to do with Audrex. But lap traffic said otherwise, but still, that was a great battle. This car is pretty good on Lime Rock, but then again, Lime Rock is a big favorite track of mine, so I'm a little biased.
You're a little biased. We've witnessed some not so great, not so thrilling racing out here at Lime Rock. That's why I was wondering if it's the Beamer here that we have in season 37 that's really contributed to the awesome racing that we just saw. Talking with the Chaos Fox here in the driver's spotlight, wrapping up week number 2. And so looking at week 3, you kind of have another scenario. I know you were talking about running full aero here at Lime Rock. Looking at week number 3, it is first Circuit de la Sarre, so I'm guessing you're not running full aero there, but then heading out to Rio de Janeiro, the short circuit, where perhaps you are.
Yeah. Le Mans, no question about it. I don't think anybody's going to be running any aero. People are going to really lengthen up the gears. When we did test here, these cars do go fast enough and for a long enough period of time where drafting will play a big role. I think the cars that do stay together for next week's race, you're going to see a bunch of small packs stay together, try to freight train by each other, back and forth. The Mulsanne Straight is going to be probably one of the most exciting spots on the track if everybody's grouped up enough for that. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, if you're in no man's land, it's going to be agonizing.
And how about the fact that it's at night? Does that factor in any? Do you think maybe some folks around you will miss their braking points, or is it pretty pretty well known how to race this one, no matter if it's in the day or night.
I mean, I've raced this track, like, I've lost count how many times I've raced this track, whether day or night. But definitely, I'll need some practice time to just kind of get used to driving this car at night. Um, when I did the test and tune night here, racing in a pack, the cars did feel really good. They draft decently in a pack. It's definitely going to be interesting, but definitely, people are going to need to configure a setup specifically for this track because maybe not so much suspension, but definitely no aero, maybe some other things, but um, it's going to be interesting. Very, very different compared to the track afterwards, which is going to be Rio.
Yeah. Definitely the bane of my Forza Motorsport experience. When you say that tuning is going to play a role in this, I always go, oh, man, I can't tune for anything. Fortunately, I'm on the microphone. You all are behind the wheels. But again, anybody who's watching this and you're thinking, hey, the Forza Spec Racing Series, perhaps this is a league for me, just know that despite there being these tuning nuances from race to race, from season to season, you've got a lot of great guys and gals in the Forza Spec Racing Series who are happy to help you out and point you in the right direction. Chaos Fox, any shout-outs here this evening?
Definitely a big shout out to Audrex. That race at Lime Rock, he kept me honest and he kept me pushing hard. Wish the back marker didn't split us up. That was a bit of my own fault, just making bad judgments. But that was a fantastic race, and I wish I stayed on his back bumper till the very end. Good race, my friend.
Good race indeed, and perhaps you guys will carry that little battle into week 3. We sure hope so. Chaos Fox, we'll see you a week from tonight.
See you then.
All right. Make sure you guys follow him here on Twitch, SGR Chaos Fox. He's doing all kinds of racing content. He mentioned some of the other leagues that he's involved in, and sometimes you'll see that from his vantage point. So, yes, SGR Chaos Fox here on Twitch. Look him up, give him a follow. And now we talk in the driver's spotlight. Fox Jason D, probably hoping for things to be a little bit more in your favor. Looks like 2 19th place finishes here in week 2.
Yeah, it was a little not as good as how it was the previous week, but I'm still pretty okay with how I did tonight.
Yeah, and it got pretty crazy out there. Not so much out at Bathurst. I mean, obviously, you're always going to have those weird little situations and incidents going down the hill. But then here at Lime Rock, the factor was backmarkers and lap traffic all converging and coming close together. Did you have any issues really navigating around some of the traffic getting around you, or were you pretty free and clear throughout the race?
I actually really didn't have a problem with some of the as being a back marker.
Right.
Like I think it was probably only the top 4 that I had to deal with them lapping me. But other than that, and with all 4 of them, like I really didn't have a problem with them getting past me. So.
Very cool, and again, for anybody who's considering the Forza Spec Racing Series, it doesn't matter your skill level. Even if you're getting lapped once or twice or maybe even more, particularly on the endurance race that is week 5, come out here and have yourself a good old time. Talking with Fox Jason D, did you have to go into pit lane for any one of these races, or were you able to keep the car in working order?
Thankfully, I was able to stay out of pit lane in both races. I've yet to actually go into it for any of these races, so hopefully I can continue that.
Looking
knock on wood.
Yeah, and looking at Le Mans, Circuit de la Sarthe, I know there's folks in the motorsport community that are fanatics for the track, either because of its real-life existence or its virtual renditions across multiple games. So are you as excited about Circuit de la Sarthe and Le Mans, or is that one that you're like, yeah, we could skip that?
It's going to be an interesting race. I don't know, considering how often I find myself just alone by myself. Hopefully it doesn't happen as much as it has been in these past couple of races. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be fascinating considering we're doing the old Mulsanne straight. So it's one giant long back straight and then a whole bunch of turns in the front.
That's right. Save you guys the pain of those chicanes, especially at dark. gauging the breaking points there at dark.
Very true.
Fox Jason D, anybody that you consider kind of your rival here in season 37?
It's hard to say at the moment. Like, it's probably some of the people that I've raced with in previous seasons, such as Beer 98T, Gumby, Greg, Grim. Though I've found myself getting a little bit faster than them. It appears like, especially in this season.
Yeah.
The problem is I'm at a point where I'm faster than some of the slower guys, but not as fast as some of the faster guys. So
right. Tell me, I mean, do you ever find yourself? So you're saying, hey, I am getting speed, getting quicker around the track. I'm finding myself faster than some other guys, but do you ever have these mind games with yourself where you're doing really well and then you start overthinking things and then you have mistakes, or are you consistent lap after lap?
I try to stay consistent lap after lap. I don't know if I ever get into that weird mindset. If there's anything, it's just like, it's not as much as confidence as just like possible fatigue of just doing the same, considering how long some of these races are, especially with Lime Rock. When you're doing 30 laps of that, it can get a little bit fatiguing. You often can, sometimes the turn you've taken perfectly the last 10 laps, you suddenly mess up on the next one.
You've explained my virtual racing behavior to a T, where I'm like, yeah, I could do, it's a 31 lap race. Okay, well, the first 10 will be great, and then the other 21 will be horrific. So that's me described perfectly.
And it's honestly for me, like the first maybe 15, then I'll mess up one and then lose a bunch of time, and then it'll all be fine. Like after a few laps of that.
One pesky lap.
But I've already lost time by that point.
Gotcha. Fox Jason D, any shout-outs for you here this evening?
Yeah, I'd like to. Probably the one that is, along with some of the other racers I mentioned, like AP1 Raccoon. We actually had a pretty good race at Lime Rocket. He was able to eventually get past me and by a fair amount, but we actually did have a good battle for at least a few laps. So it's always, for me, being near the back, I'm always appreciative of having an actual battle for at least a few laps.
Right.
And I think I had someone with a Z2827 at Bathurst for at least a little bit.
Very cool. Well, when we get a chance to look back there with the camera, we'll certainly do that. And Fox Jason D, we'll see you in week 3.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and now bringing into the driver's spotlight, DOR Carryout. You had a 5th place finish out there at Bathurst, but then followed that up with, I don't know, gosh, what is that, a 18th place? No, 18th, not even 18th. 15th. Yeah, I number only so many of them, and then the names start merging together, and I forget which number is which. But, hey, 15th place finish, not how you'd like to have things go here in race number 4. I don't know, is week 2 looking like, hey, maybe this is the one I'll be able to put behind me, and then 3, 4, and 5 will be solid weeks?
I hope so. I hope I get to finish out the rest of the season. I got a bit of a promotion at work, so I don't know if I'll be able to finish it out starting next week. But we'll see.
Boo! Promotion be damned. Very cool. Happy to hear that, and congratulations to you, and all that brings for you and your family. Was there any particular incident there at Lime Rock, or did you just, because you had a great qualifying time from what I can remember, or did you have a dirtied qualifying lap?
I dirtied all 3 laps.
That's right.
On the last lap coming down the hill, I kept hitting the bump, and it just kept throwing me wide for some odd reason. Which doesn't happen in race or practice or anything, but only during qualifying it likes to do that.
Yeah.
So I ended up starting 4th from the end, I do believe, and worked my way up to 11th. And me and Fear were having fun racing, and I kind of got into the back quarter panel, his back quarter panel, and then coming around, I had to stop for somebody that was in front of me. I had to put the brakes on a little bit hard, and he bumped me from behind, and it was a light bump, but knowing Forza physics, it just slingshotted me straight forward, and I ended up going off, and that was that. I ended up finished 15th.
That was that, yep. Talking with DOR Carryout here in the driver's spotlight at the conclusion of tonight's Week 2 action out at Bathurst and Lime Rock. I give Fear probably more of a hard time than he really deserves, but Fear is he's a very competitive driver. He's a very skilled driver. Every once in a while, he gets into mistakes. Do you kind of take note of that about drivers? Are you saying, hey, maybe I don't want to spend so much time around this person. I either got to back off and let them have the spot, and maybe they'll make a mistake a little bit later on, or hey, I got to get past them so I'm not a part of any incident? Or do you just kind of take everybody as like, hey, this race is a clean start for them?
Well, I'm kind of like that with everybody. I try not to get into people's doors and all of that. Behind them, watching them race, you kind of get the idea of where they're going to be and certain situations and all that. And so I try to give them the benefit of the doubt and back off and try to pass them. And on a good passing spot, maybe they have a bad corner and I can ease in and grab that spot. But yeah, Fear is really good. I would say that he's probably my greatest competitor on the track. Mm-hmm. And when he bumped me, it was just a racing incident, no purpose intended, no anything like that. It was just one of those little, I had to stop real fast for somebody who was in front of me, and he just bumped me a little bit, and that was that. So I have no hard feelings toward Fear at all, period.
Absolutely. DOR Carryout, last question for you is we've got the Old Mulsanne there at night, Rio de Janeiro, Road Atlanta, Nürburgring, Sebring. If you were to say, hey, this is the worst one and then this is the best one, which belongs where?
For me, probably worst one is going to be it's
got to be Rio, right?
Yeah, I want to say Rio, but only because everybody's going to be so compact and it's just going to be chaotic.
Yep.
And a lot of bumps, a lot of different breaking points for a lot of different people, and that one's just going to be chaotic, but probably going to be fun. And then the best one for me would be Road Atlanta. Road Atlanta is, of course, in Forza, my home track. I'm hopefully think I'm really good at Road Atlanta. So.
Very cool. Well, hey, and I said that was going to be my last question, but you said that Rio de Janeiro would be fun just because of how compact, how close everybody's going to be to each other. And that is a fuel and tire damage race only. So Slow Motion Firing Company, they've gone ahead and said, hey, we're going to take off the collision damage that would be associated with most of the other races that they have on the schedule. Do you think that people kind of take liberties with that opportunity when they see that it's fuel and tire damage only, and will it be a little bit more roughhousing there in that second race out at Rio de Janeiro next week?
I'm going to bet people are probably going to be willing to take a little bit more of a chance and try to get around people. I hope nothing's going to be intentional,
right?
But. Yeah, probably people are going to still take a little bit more of a chance knowing that there's no car damage on other than fuel and tires.
Very good. Hey, solid, honest answer there from DOR Carryout. Any shout-outs for you here this evening?
Yes, actually. Shout out to Kuda on that last race at Lime Rock. He did absolutely fantastic. I was racing against him for a couple of laps, and he did an awesome job. So shout out to Kuda.
There you go. All right, DOR Carryout, thank you so much. We'll see you next week. And for all the drivers who join me here in the driver's spotlight, I appreciate your willingness, your wanting or at least choosing to step out a little bit, have a conversation with us here, and put things in the night on a good note. When every time we can talk with the drivers, not to say that the night was bad, the racing was fantastic here this evening, but anytime we get that additional perspective, those additional insights from the folks who are actually behind the sticks running these races every Tuesday, that makes things, I think, for the viewers that much more exciting. All right, folks, I can't shut things down without saying it because, again, I want one of you to win $50 of gaming cash, either for the PlayStation Store, the Xbox, Microsoft storefront, or Steam. Noting that the first two, the Xbox and the PlayStation, can only be redeemed here in the U.S. So if you're outside the confines of the U.S., I do apologize, but really doing my best here with trying to give back to the viewers. The Steam the Steam gift card can be redeemed anywhere, unless things have changed recently, but I don't think they have. So that can be redeemed anywhere. It'll just be converted into your currency, and then you can have that to spend on the Steam storefront for your PC gaming. Redeem 1,000 entry points just as Carryout has done. You could do that there in the Twitch chat. There should be a little wrench icon at the bottom of your chat. Click on it to see how many points you have. If you don't have enough points, we'll just keep watching the broadcast, and you'll eventually get there, and you can redeem an entry, and that way you'll have a shot. You only need one entry to win. That's all anyone needs. Of course, the more points you rack up, the more chances you can, the more entries you can redeem, and therefore increasing your chances to win. Our drawing for the raffle will be on December 8th at the conclusion of week number 5's racing action. And then I teased it on throughout the race, but a lot of great content coming up here on the Xventure channel, to include our staple Friday event, Hauling for the Weekend, as we go even deeper into the state of Colorado to see all the great little fun, nifty sights and sounds, the things that SCS software has thrown into that world. We're going to go check it out, and then we'll probably take the camera off the truck a little bit there and go peer around the city and see what we can find, any Easter eggs that the development team might have left for us there. Hauling for the Weekend is this Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, so not at the same time as Tuesday's broadcast, a couple of hours ahead. 6 p.m. Eastern. Join us for a couple of hours of trucking fun there in American Truck Simulator. And then on Sunday, one that I'm pretty excited about, actually. I didn't really anticipate doing this, but, we've done a couple of Red Dead photography streams over the last couple of Sundays, and it's really gotten me feeling like, hey, let's do a playthrough of Red Dead Redemption 2 here on Sundays. It's going to take us a long time, so this is going to be like a saga. And in between, like every so often, we'll take a break on a Sunday and we'll do something different. But at least here, starting this coming Sunday, which is what, the 20th? 22nd. Here, starting the 22nd, we will have the very beginning of Red Dead Redemption 2, which is actually the prologue to the original Red Dead Redemption. So if everything works out, the stars align and everything, we'll finish this, I don't know, six months from now, and then maybe Rockstar Studios will say, hey, the original Red Dead Redemption is coming to PC as a remaster or remake, whatever you want to call it. I'm hopeful, but either way, we're going to enjoy Red Dead Redemption 2. That's Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Yes, we've got 3 different start times. I know that makes it difficult to be consistent as a viewer, but it's based on my availability, so really that's the best I can do. I apologize, not to you, but to myself, for those of you who can't make it, because I know you guys would like to be there, and I'd love to have you. But those who can, I'm looking forward to it. That's this Sunday, Saddle Up Sundays, 8 p.m. 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on Xventure. All right, folks, well, that's going to do it for me here on a Tuesday, knowing that we have more of the Forza Spec Racing Series Season 37 coming to you a week from tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Xventure. It's going to be exciting. We've got Cratrin, we've got Stevie, we've got McQueen. Heck, I would even venture to guess that Huracan, if he's going to stick it out through the remainder of the season, he'll be in the running for the championship. And you still have names like Audrex and Slipstream, who, if week 2 happens to be their low end of points throughout the season, will drop that, and they'll still be in the running for the championship. It's a complete toss-up right now. We really won't know who is in the mix. Well, we do know who's in the mix. We really won't know who's going to be the champion probably until week number 5 for that final race. I don't think we're going to have a winner declared before that. I just really don't. I really, really don't. And then, of course, join us for that. We'll continue to do our Twitch Predictor Fun. So for those of you who maybe saw the predicting feature play out here on the broadcast, I'm hoping that you'll continue to either be engaged if you did partake, or if you didn't hear tonight and you saw it happening, that maybe you'll partake next Tuesday. It's just a fun way to do things. They're just channel points, a little bit of betting on what you think the outcome will be of any particular event that I post up there in the predictor tool. And then if you win, you get more channel points, and those channel points can be redeemed for things like our raffle entries. So just a fun way for you all to be engaged and be a part of be more of a part of the fun here at Xventure. And for those of you who wish to just continue to lurk, that's all fine and dandy. You could do that as well. If you did enjoy the content here on the broadcast, please click that follow button. It lets me know as the broadcaster that you did enjoy your time here, and then that way I can give you a kind of a little shout out at our next broadcast as I look through who the new followers are. Again, Born as Ghost, thank you so much. Tier 1 for 5 months now here on the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. That's going to do it for me here this evening, folks. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the week. For those of us in the U.S., we're almost there. We're almost to the holiday. Let's try to stay as happy and as healthy as we possibly can be. And, of course, that extends outside the United States here to everybody. It feels like things are looking good in terms of what science is accomplishing, but with the uptick in the infections and folks who are being diagnosed as having COVID, that's not looking good. But let's try to bring that down a bit. Do your part. Wear your mask. Social distance wherever possible, and just take care of one another out there. Y'all have a great one. If you get any more racing action in, keep it fun, keep it safe, keep it clean. Until next time, let's make it Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern for Home for the Weekend. Until then, y'all have a great one. Take care. Adios. Goodbye.